Voter fraud. Texas Attorney General, non-citizen voting is significant problem, by Gary Mayer for USAPoliticsToday.org. There is a significant problem with non-citizens illegally voting in our elections, according to just released information from the Office of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton concerning voter fraud. Late Monday afternoon, Paxton announced that his office has new voter fraud plans. They will curb what he frames as an epidemic of in-person and mail-in voter fraud in Texas. He enumerated ways that the Committee on Election Integrity could address voter fraud. Voting for our elected leaders is a solemn right the American people hold, he said. We must protect the integrity of that process. Paxton also pledged Monday to Assistant Starr County DA Omar Escobar in his fight against voter fraud. The Texas Attorney General also said he fully supports Escobar's efforts to educate the country's citizens on exiting and amended voting laws. The Border County DA had invited Paxton's office to assist him with both enforcement and education of citizens. Paxton confirmed that non-citizens are registering to vote and voting in Texas elections. Worse, procedures for removing ineligible voters from voter roll aren't being followed correctly. In fact, not even at all in some Texas counties. It's a violation of both state and federal law for non-citizens to vote or register to vote. The Texas legislature passed Senate Bill 5 SB 5 last special session, which makes it a crime to give false information on a voter application. It also provides for a criminal penalty to apply in the name of a potential voter without their consent. The offense is a felony. In a letter to State Senate Brian Hughes, who chairs the Senate Select Committee on Election Integrity, the OAG said the threat to election integrity in Texas is real and the need to provide additional safeguards is increasing. Last year's successful prosecution of Mexican national Rosa Ortega, who illegally voted in Texas for over 10 years, highlighted the lack of safeguards in the system to detect ineligible voters like non-citizens, the OAG wrote to Hughes. In response to the OAG conducted a brief investigative survey of 4 counties. Voter registration records, they found that in just the past 2 years, 165 unlawfully registered non-citizen voters were removed from those counties' voter rolls, but only after the self-identified as non-citizens in the process of recusing themselves from jury duty. More concerning, this group of 165 non-citizens had cast 100 illegal votes in Texas elections prior to identifying themselves as non-citizens at jury duty and being removed from the voter roll. The OAG is unable to determine the scope of non-citizen voting across Texas. From the non-citizen jury duty numbers alone, it appears to be a significant problem. Nonetheless, the OAG has also found that the process for removing ineligible voters who self-report as non-citizens at jury duty is not being followed correctly or even at all in various counties. Investigations into the scope of ineligible voting across the state are ongoing. In 2017, Paxton's office prosecuted a Tarrant County green card holder for illegally voting 5 times from 2004 to 2014. Rosa Maria Ortega was sentenced to 8 years in prison. She testified at her trial that she believed she was a citizen. All my life since I worked, I always, on my knowledge, thought I was a U.S. citizen. I never knew the difference of U.S. citizen and U.S. resident. And the point is, if I knew, everything would have been the correct way, she said. Paxton's office also assisted the Dallas County DA's office. It helped with its investigation into alleged mail-in ballot fraud in last year's Dallas City Council election. In that case, one person, Miguel Hernandez, was charged with illegally voting. He allegedly filled out a mail-in ballot application for an elderly West Dallas resident. AG Paxton had other voter fraud fixes as well. Paxton has also asked the legislature to consider requiring that any person requesting an absentee ballot have photo identification on file with the state. It is a provision lifted from Wisconsin's voter ID law. Wisconsin has the most restrictive voter fraud laws in the nation. He also wants seniors targeted by mail-in ballot harvesters to be able to sue the people trying to manipulate their ballots. He wants to create a low-cost, non-governmental enforcement alternative for costly vote harvesting investigations. The AG also suggests there were additional measures the legislature may want to consider. They include examining widespread abuse of voting assistance procedures to coerce and influence voters, and reviewing signature review procedures for mail ballot applications. Well, I don't think they caught too much. 165 people. No, there's a lot of voter fraud going on, and they also vote in other counties, also in other states too. This mess has to be cleaned up. But I say, first of all, get rid of, you need an ID to vote, and you got to get rid of the Soros voting machines. Anything related to Soros has to be destroyed in this country. That's what I'm saying. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.